This is a video about leaky faucets and how much they cost. I can't believe that I managed to go over 10 minutes on a leaky faucet, so I'll just sort of put this synopsis at the beginning. Suffice to say, a leaky faucet on the hot water side, which drips about once per second, costs you a dime a day. Maybe a little bit more, but that's it. Here again, I can't believe I went over 10 minutes on this. I do introduce what I think is a really nice online water usage calculator towards the end, but yeah, I managed to do 2 parts on leaky faucet. So a dime a day. I show cause in this. I use a scale. It's a big frickin' production, or whatever. So yeah, if you're still with us, we'll begin anew.
So if you listen very closely, you can hear that in the background there's a little leak. That's the faucet. So you can focus on that if you'd like to, or not. This is a kitchen scale. This is a pad of paper. That's a pen. This is a small measuring cup. This one goes up to 1 cup. This is a rag. Stick with me, it'll make sense. The rag in the measuring cup comes in at 900.944 pounds. Maybe you can read that, maybe not, but it says 0.944 pounds cup plus rag. So this is kind of a logical progression of the whole experience, is to put the measuring cup underneath the drip and see how much water collects over a given period of time. What I'd like you to notice here is how much the water gets thrown around inside of that cup, and if you can get a better view of it, once that level comes up, possibly a quarter to a third of each drip is going to be bouncing out of the cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this rag in, which we've already measured, and then we're going to time it and we'll set that up. So we'll set that up and come back. Alright, so I have a cup with a rag in it. My timer on my watch is set for 10 minutes. I've actually already gotten some water in this. I've reweighed it and I've modified my notes on how much this weighs. I just a couple drips and I screwed up and yeah, it's a cut. Alright, so we're going to put it under here and we're going to start the timer. And we're going to let that go for 10 minutes. When you have a leaky faucet, there's certainly one and possibly 2 things that you're losing. One is the actual water itself, which is actually much less expensive than the energy used to heat the water, should it be a hot water leaky faucet, which it's most likely going to be in faucets, as the hot water side, I guess, is a little bit harder on them. So we're just going to let this sit for a couple minutes. I'll probably speed this up so you don't have to sit through 10 minutes of leaky faucet, and then we'll come back and figure this out. Okay. Alright, so while we wait for 10 minutes of water to drip into a measuring cup, I'm just going to ruin it for you, and I'm going to tell you that this is exactly how much water came into it. It's 0.398 pounds. We'll visit that later. Not everybody has a handy little scale like this, and that's perfectly fine. I don't suggest buying one. You can obviously use this measuring cup. Has both metric for you communists and standard for Americans, because that's what we are as Americans. If you look in here, and maybe you can see the line on this, this is pretty near an even 6 ounces of water. There are 128 fluid ounces in a gallon. So if we were to multiply, this is 10 minutes worth of water times 6 is going to give us how much this is in an hour. So 6 ounces times 6 is 36 ounces in an hour. And if I do the math again real quickly, come on now. If I do the math again real quickly, so nope, that's not going to do it. 36 divided by 128 equals 0.28125. That's actually very close to what I got with the scale here. The scale is a little bit more precise. You're going to have issues about, is this line a little bit above 6 ounces or a little bit below 6 ounces? I like the scale better. Doing it by the line is, is really close within stupid measurements. You can go either way. All right, so we'll go back to filling this thing up. All right, so we're getting near the end here. What I probably should have done first, and what might have been helpful, is to wipe up some of this water beforehand. And that would help you see if you had any splash from outside. That would help you know if you had any splash from outside of this container to the outsides. It's also to know that I don't really have a leaky faucet. I engineered that. This leak was about 1 drop per second, which is 1 drop per second. Go figure. Once again, these are very small quantities that we're working with, and for you to lose, even 20% of the volume to splash out, it really kind of affects it quite a bit. So we're going to go with this. The cup obviously hasn't changed weight at all. The rag hasn't changed weight at all. Although it's soaked up some water, it's still pretty much the same thing.
So here we are in the fade out to part 1. Part 2 is going to be in a link, which I'm going to put on an annotation. Still don't believe I managed to go over 10 minutes on this, but part 2 is going to be where the actual cup goes on the scale and we do the final measurements, and then we plug them into the shower calculator. And yeah, so hope you're still with us. Very good. Thank you.